Good morning, Alecia at home. This is Alecia speaking. How can I help you today? Yes, I see. Oh yes, we can do that. You need some crochet help? I'm on it. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It is so good to see you. Are you guys ready to finish our project that we started a couple weeks ago? I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be fun. It'll be so cool to just have that tangible something in our hands that we can look down and go, I created this with my very own hands, and just feel that sense of pride in our finished project. So go grab your crochet supplies and let's get to crocheting. Are you guys ready to finish up our pillows, our crochet pillows? I am so excited to finish this project, but before we move on, I'm just curious how many of you actually sat in the last, what have we had, like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that? How many of you actually sat and did this? I'm just real curious if you printed the pattern and if you started creating your pillow covers and if you just kind of spent some time practicing the stitches. If you did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you still unsure? Let me know, because I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to know how your progress went and if you enjoyed it. So please let me know in the comments below what you think of crocheting. Okay, so I did go ahead and work up. This is my front piece over here. I did go ahead and work up the front piece, and this is my back piece, or vice versa. They could be either or, but I've got the two pieces going here. Let me just get this out of the way. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so what I did do though is on the pattern for this piece, I only crocheted through rows 28 because I wanted to do these last two rows with you guys. On row 30, we do a slip stitch to kind of complete this and finish it off, and I did forget to teach you guys what a slip stitch is. It is super, super easy, and so we're gonna go ahead and do these last two rows together. So I've ended my project here on the end of row 28. And row 29 is just one simple half double crochet all the way across. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with you guys, but I'm probably gonna, so just as a recap, I'll do the first couple really slow and then we'll just move through to the end pretty quickly on this. And then I will show you guys how to do row 30, stitching that slip stitch. Oh, I also wanted to show you guys this really cool new crochet hook that I got. So I've been having some issues just with getting some carpal tunnel and just having a little bit of arthritis going on. You know, aging is so much fun. So I was talking to a friend of mine about it and she recommended these hooks to me. So I bought a couple in my favorite sizes, and oh my goodness, y'all, I absolutely love this. First of all, I love that it's really extra long because it just fits so comfortably in my hand, and it really, really, truly did help with alleviating some of that carpal tunnel that I had going on. So I will link these in the description box for y'all. I do know that I went on a couple of days ago to try to order a couple smaller sizes in this particular one, and they were out of stock, but I found some very similar ones that I will definitely link for y'all in the description box. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish row 29 with y'all, and it's just one half double crochet across. So if you remember correctly, our double crochet, or excuse me, our half double crochet is a yarn over, insert into the stitch, pull up a loop for 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet. So I'm going to do those all the way across this project to complete row 29 of our pattern. I had a lot of fun working on these pieces. It was just super, super relaxing and I don't know, mindless. I kind of didn't have to think too much. I could just kind of shut off my brain and crochet. So I enjoyed doing these. I hope that you guys did as well. Oh, this is a fun thing in crochet. This happens all the time. I have a big, huge knot. So I'm just gonna go get this knot out and I will be right back. Alrighty, knot crisis averted. So we can go ahead and continue on with our half double crochets here to finish up row 29 in our pattern. Okay, there's that pesky last stitch. Did you guys have troubles with that? Were you able to identify your last stitches carefully enough and keep yourself in check by counting all your stitches? Because in the end of this row, we should actually have 35 stitches. So I'm just gonna count those really quick to make sure that we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect! We have 35 stitches, yay! Okay, so now we're going to turn our work, which is actually putting us back on the front side of our work, and that's what we want. And we are going to do a slip stitch all the way across. And what that's going to do is it's just going to kind of close our work a little bit for us and give us a nice clean top on our final row. Okay, so a slip stitch is, we're just going to insert our hook into the stitch, pull up our loop like we were going to do a single crochet. However, instead of yarning over again, we're going to pull that first loop through. We're going to pull the second loop through our first loop. That is a slip stitch, and slip stitches are used commonly to just kind of close off a row, clean up an edge. It's just kind of that final stitch to finish off your project. So I'm going to go ahead and do that a couple more times with you guys, and then I'll show you one in slow motion. Okay, so here's our second stitch. We're going to insert our hook, pull up that loop, but instead of yarning over to complete that would be a single crochet. So instead of doing that, we're just going to pull through all the way. So we're going to insert our hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull this loop through our first loop. So we're going to insert the hook into our stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull that through the first loop. And that creates what is called a slip stitch and kind of gives you that nice clean edge on the top. So I'm going to do that one more time for you guys in slow motion as I complete this row. Okay, so this is what our slip stitch is looking so far. And here, I'm just gonna kind of hope that you can see the difference. So this row underneath was the end of our row 29. And then here's what the slip stitch looks like all the way across. And I hope you can kind of see that on camera, the difference between the two and how this slip stitch just kind of finishes off this row. I hope that makes sense for y'all. So I'll just go ahead and finish up this with y'all on camera. So we're just going to insert our hook into the stitch, pull up that loop. So in a single crochet, after you pull up this loop, you would yarn over and pull through both to close the stitch. Well, we're not going to do that because that's a single crochet. So a slip stitch, we insert, pull up the loop. So now we have 2 loops, so loop 2 is going to go through loop 1. Insert into the stitch, pull up that loop, and pull through loop 1. Okay, and on that last stitch, don't skip it. It's right there. Oops, I hope I didn't go off camera there. It's the same exact thing. Okay, so that now completes our pattern in our entire pillow cover or pillow front. This could be the front or the back, whichever. I'm calling it the back, I guess, because it was my second one that I made. But that completes this. It is now finished. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and snip my working yarn. Pull it through our loop to make a small knot and close off our work. Okay, so now what I'm going to show you guys is how to connect these together, connect our two pieces together to make our actual pillow cover. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and weave in all of my ends, and I'm gonna do that off camera because I know you guys probably don't wanna watch me do that. It's kind of boring. So I'll go ahead and do that and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so we are going to go ahead and crochet our pieces together so that we can actually have a pillow cover. And when we crochet them together, you want to make sure that the back side, whatever piece you're going to use for your back side, you want the right side facing down, like so. Okay, and then on the front piece of our pillow cover, we want the right side facing up, so that when we insert our pillow, both sides have the right side facing out. I hope that makes sense. So your back side, place your right side facing down, your front side, place your right side facing up. That's not at all confusing. Okay, then we're just gonna go ahead and line up our pieces really well together and we'll move on to our next step here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and lined up my pieces together. I do have a little bit of a weird edge on this one and I'm not sure why, but that's okay. We're just gonna move on. So if your pieces don't line up perfectly together, that's okay. Just go ahead and give them a little stretching until they're really well lined up. Then we're just gonna take our yarn, we're gonna make a slip knot just like we would as if we were creating a chain. Then I'm gonna pull my needle out. Okay, so I hope you can see this. Let me just make you guys a little closer. Okay, then we are going to find the corner of we're gonna work from the right side to the left side on this. Find that first stitch on your corner on both pieces. Insert your hook through that stitch so that make sure that they're lined up. Then we're gonna put our little slip knot over our crochet hook and pull that through the stitches, then yarn over and pull that through, and that's going to be our first stitch to lock that into place. So we are going to basically just be doing single crochets all the way across each of these stitches to connect them together. So you're gonna just find your next stitch on the top piece, your next stitch on the back side, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Okay, so let's kind of do that again together. Find that next stitch on the front and the back, and your stitches should be matching up really well. Yarn over, pull up a loop and pull through both loops. Oops, I got that loop a little big. Let's tighten that up a little. Okay, so we're going to insert into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. And you can see that this is now crocheting itself together. Okay, so we're going to insert in the next stitch. Next stitch on the back side, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. And you can kind of see here how it's just stitching them all together. So we are just going to do that all the way across, connecting them with single crochets. And you want to try to make sure that your front and back, your stitches are matched up with your front piece and your back piece as you're doing this. If they're not and you kind of skip a stitch, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. This kind of takes a little bit of practice hooking these together. So just do your best and work it all the way across. And then when we get to this end down here, We're going to stop, and then I'm going to show you guys how to go down the raw edge where we don't actually have stitches, because this was the edge of our work. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this across, and I will see you guys down here. Okay, you guys, so I've come to the corner down here. I've got my whole top edge crocheted together. So we're going to go ahead and flip our work around like so, trying to keep all of our edges pretty well matched up together. Okay, now this edge, this is our raw edge, and this edge is a little bit harder because there's not actually defined stitches. So what I do is I'm on this corner now, and I'm going to go ahead, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and on the corner go through both of my pieces, and I'm going to do 2 stitches side by side there to kind of make a nice round corner. You could kind of see what I was doing. Okay, so then, as you know, you can see here that there's no real defined stitches, but you can kind of define the rows. So what I tend to do is just where I know each row is where I will insert my hook, and we're just doing double crochets here. And so I can see that that was a row and that was a row, so I'm just going to kind of go through those. And then this is a row. And sometimes my yarn will get caught on a stitch below. If that happens, just pull it out and go in one more time. There. Okay, so we're just kind of winging it almost here. But I do try to keep my stitches evenly spaced so that we don't get huge, like one stitch is this big and one stitch is this big. We don't really want that to happen. So I do try to, even though there's real, you know, as I said, there's no real stitches to crochet into, we're just kind of going into those loops that are at the ends, but I try to keep them all evenly spaced. Just do your best here, because I know that this part's a little bit confusing. So just kind of do your best. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna be fine. Oops. Oops, okay, that one wants to go through the whole thing. Okay, so I hope that you guys kind of can sort of understand what I've got going there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and complete this row, and then I will see you guys down here on this corner. Okay, how are you guys feeling? I know that doing that raw edge is a little bit tricky, but I mean, as you can see, it's doable. And I just try. The most important part, if you're not sure where to insert your hook, is just to make sure it's going under at least, you know, 2 strands on the front and 2 strands on the back, and pull that up and crochet. I think the most important part is to just try to make your stitches evenly spaced apart to make it, you know, so it looks pretty and not super, you know, messy. We don't want it to look messy and wonky. I know doing this part is a little bit confusing, and sometimes even I just kind of make sure that I'm inserting into the top 2 strands of both front and back, so that you have 4 strands, so you're kind of putting your stitch into 4 strands, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've come to our corner here, and I'm going to go ahead and do 2 stitches side by side, kind of in that same stitch. Because that just kind of helps round off our corner nicely. So now we're going to go ahead and flip our work again. And now we're back to where we have actual definable stitches. So this part's a lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead and continue this all the way to the end. So if you guys are working along with me, just go ahead and continue doing your your single crochets all the way along. But stop at this corner because we need to leave this part open so we can insert our pillow, because this is kind of a forever pillow. So once you've gotten your sides all crocheted together and we insert our pillow insert, the only way to take this apart is to cut it, and you don't really want to do that. So just count on this being a forever pillow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, let's go ahead and crochet all the way to this corner, and then I will see you guys back down here. Okay. All right, so we got our double stitches on the corner so that we have nice rounded corners. And now we're going to go ahead and pull up a loop on this pretty big loop so that you don't accidentally unravel everything, and we'll go ahead and insert our pillow. Okay, so we've got our pillow stuffed in here, and now we're just gonna close this up, and we're gonna close this up the exact same way that we've closed up all sides of our pillow. I feel like once our pillow in here, it gets a little harder to do these stitches because we're kind of having to push our pillow down. And I know this is a little hard for you guys to see on camera because I keep trying to stand it up and then it gets me a little close, but I don't know, maybe that'll help you be able to see where I'm inserting my hook a little bit in these so that you can kind of see better. Okay, so we've kind of rounded our corner here. We have a nice rounded corner. Doing those 2 stitches on the corner is kind of important for keeping your corner nice and round. You kind of want that. If you want your corner to be a little more square, don't do that 2 stitches together right there. But I kind of like it a little bit more rounded. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and crochet this all the way down to the end, and then we will be complete with this pillow cover. Okay, so we are super close to the end here. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this off. These raw edges, so crocheting the raw edges together, I know can be a little tricky, so just do your best. Sometimes it does try my patience a little bit. I can be kind of an impatient crafter sometimes. I just want things, I want instant gratification sometimes. Are you guys like that too? I hope you guys can still see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I only have this much yarn left. I don't know if I'm gonna make these last couple of stitches, but we'll see. This is gonna be fun. Oh, I might make it, y'all. That is like cutting it really close. Okay, I did make it, but don't pull up my loop too tight. Okay, so now we've come back to where we started. So we're gonna pull this end through our little loop to tie that off. And then what I like to do is take my 2 ends where I started and just make a little safety knot in this. But I don't want it to be too big because we don't want it, you know, we don't want it like bold in your face down there, so I won't make it too big. Okay. Then we can just clip those off. And if you want to, you can felt those ends in. I probably will. Okay guys, we did it! Yay! We successfully crocheted a pillow. I am so excited about this. I just love that feeling that you get after you've completed something and you look at it and you go, I made that. It just gives you such a strong sense of pride, and I don't know. Do you guys experience that after you've created something? I kind of almost always do, because it's just, that's your own hands created that, and it's something to be very, very proud of. So good job, guys. You did it. You made your first crochet project. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I had a blast. It was so fun to finish up our crochet project, and I just feel so proud of what we accomplished. And I'm really proud of you guys too for just jumping in there and crocheting right along with me. At least I hope you did. So anyway, thank you guys again so much for hanging out. I hope you learned something and that you enjoyed this. We are going to be doing some more crochet projects in the future, so be ready for that because it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks again for being here today, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, y'all take care, and I will see you soon. Bye. Congratulations to the winners of our Valentine's giveaway. I'm really excited to send you your sweet little Valentines from yours truly. So I am going to go ahead and put the names on the screen right up here, just because I didn't want to butcher the pronunciation of anyone's name. So if you see your name on the screen right up here, reach out to me via email. I will have my email address linked in the description box for y'all. So reach out to me so that I can send you your sweet little Valentines, and congratulations to all 3 of our winners.